What do you think? What do you think of those? Smell funny? They do smell funny, don't they? So welcome back, everybody. So today we are going to revisit a topic again over, they're getting all tangled, some prong and choke chains. So I have talked about these things before in a previous video, and if I can remember how to enter it correctly, I'll link it somewhere here. I go over all the leashes and collars in that video if you feel you want to watch that. And the reason I feel like we need to revisit this topic is because of a comment I got, not a bad comment. It was a genuinely good comment, just talking about training stuff, about how I feel about these things. And for a long time, I basically said that these are a last resort type collars. And the stuff I've been seeing lately down the rabbit hole that I've gone down on the internet, I can't believe how trainers are using these, and I figured I'd go over how I was taught versus what I'm seeing on the internet. So we've got the, choke chain here, and I've gotten a lot of crap over my lifetime over a choke chain because my Lou needed to be on one, and Lucian went through every kind of harness. Like, he literally broke through harness. The gentle leader worked for a while until he slammed his head into the ground. For some reason, a chain like this just around his neck. What are you doing? You don't need to wear these. And it was a heavier chain than this. It was actually too big for him, but just the way it hung on his neck like that, I don't know if it made him think that he was working harder or something to protect mom or something. For some reason it calmed him down. Maybe that extra weight made him feel like he was working. I don't know. I'm not sure why. And people use these wrong all the time, because there is a correct way to put it on the dog. You don't just wrap it around whatever. There's I believe it's the P shape if you're walking left-handed. Is that right? Maybe. Or is it the 9 shape? The P shape on the right side. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So that's how it's supposed to work, right? So your dog has it around their neck, and you do that. And that's how I was trained to do it. You just do a light tightening and loosening. These freaking trainers I see online, they're like doing that. Ow. And damn, that really hurt. It took me a long time to find a really good trainer to help me with Lucian, and she also helped with Kage, and she was very about positive training, but she also understood that sometimes some dogs need something else, and it was just the weirdest thing that's what worked for him. And eventually he didn't have to be on the chain all the time. It was situational. Basically, when he was in our neighborhood, the chain went on because he was very protective of mother, kind of like some other boy who's moving the camera. So we're using Bluey, poor guy, or poor girl, because it's a girl. And I see trainers also take this chain and put it, high above the ears, right there on a dog. And they're sitting there yanking up like that at the dog. Oh, poor Bluey. It baffles me, because you're just strangling your dog. It's not how I was trained to use these. But I was so paranoid when I got my girls. I was having trouble finding harnesses that fit them correctly. All I could find was those, safety collars that snap open type thing. So I would put chains on them when I would walk them at first, because I was scared to death that they would break free and run off. These are my brand new puppies. And sometimes in my past videos, you'll see like a chain doing this. It's not squeezing them. I can feel what it's doing. Like if I'm walking, it's just a slight tug. It's not much different to me than when the collar is tugging, because I've done both on myself. And I only did it temporary, except for Clea, because Clea, Miss Princess back there, absolutely hates harnesses. She was just like Kage in that aspect. I used the chain on her for the longest time, mainly because when we would go hiking, she would like to try to jump off the cliffs when she heard water. She's gotten way better about that. And if you've noticed in any of my other recent hiking videos with her, you notice that chain's not on there anymore. You've probably seen that a lot in my videos previously with, Miss Clea over there. It's not choking him. I know people are very concerned about the trachea, but this, I know, is technically not the proper way to use the chain because it's tight. But it's not really that tight. I'm not trying to justify anything. It's just, my main point is, I mainly use this for safety. They are called training chains too, not just choke chains, but just in case somebody tells me I don't know how to use it, I know this is not the correct way. I think if I go to walk him on the right side here, yeah, it's supposed to be like that to where it loosens. But I know everybody gets concerned about, you know, trachea and stuff getting busted with those collars, which I've never seen happen, but I've heard it happening plenty of times. I've definitely seen more injuries with the pinch collar, whether that's in person or online. I think we've all seen those online, but I'm not saying it can't happen. I think dogs can get injured on any type of gear. So I know people have gone through things where, you know, this collar and even normal collars have messed up dogs' tracheas. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But you did good, buddy. You did good. I know. Now, will I use these again for my dogs in the future? I don't know. Maybe not, because my paranoia is a lot less than it used to be. But if I had another dog like Clea who didn't wear a harness and panicked over it and I needed something else to keep her safe, yeah, I would probably still use this type of collar for temporary purposes. And that was another thing the trainer that I worked with at the time was very much for, was that this and the other collar is a temporary thing. I mean, if it starts to work and the dog learns, you don't have to use it anymore. But again, if there's somebody's dog out there like my Lou, he needed this for some reason. It, like I said, I don't know if it was the weight of it or something, it kept him calm. But I don't understand these trainers, for one, doing it so up high around the head. And I mean, I understand why, it's a sensitive area. That definitely gets a dog's attention. When I see these famous YouTube trainers sitting there doing that, like, see, look, the dog's listening. I mean, listen to that. And they're pulling that freaking hard. It's like, it just blows my mind that in this day and age and all the stuff we've researched about dog training and stuff, like, that's how you're using this. Even when I worked at the vet office, dogs that came in with chains, none of that, we would never do that. Even like the leads that we use, which is very similar to this chain, like, we would never sit there and be like, come on, dog, you know. I mean, that's strangulation of the dog. That's straight up abuse. Like, even the leads we use in grooming, like, if the dog would tighten up and start freaking out and, you know, start trying to get out of it, you take a break. You talk the dog down, you calm him down, and it only takes seconds, and then they follow along with you. And grant you, yes, there's still a slight tug there, but it isn't anything like what I see these trainers telling people to do online. So this is obviously the, you know, some people call it a prong collar, some people call it a pinch collar, whatever you want to call it. This was Kage's. Whew. You know, looking back, I might have tried something a little bit different with him. But again, the way I was trained to use this is definitely not the way I see trainers showing people how to use this online. The trainer I worked with was very against, I don't know, can you see that? Very against taking off the rubber backings, because now, or at least when I bought this like over a decade ago, they put these rubber bands or rubber stoppers on it, right? So with the rubber stoppers, if I'm really yanking, right? Oh, I think I just unlocked one. There is a slight, you know, mark there. I don't know if I want to do this to myself. This one, oh, just little dots just from pushing it in. And I see these trainers, oh my God, I'm gonna get pissed off here in a second. You can't tell me that metal on skin doesn't hurt. Like, you can't tell me that. So for starters, I'm against using these. I'll say this for sure. Just like that trainer that taught me without the rubber backing, because she taught me that this is supposed to simulate, you know, mama dog kind of nipping you, just like a little nip nip. You're like, what you doing, mama? And I know there's like, that's a whole other discussion, because I know people say that that's not true now and blah, 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 whatever. We're not going there today. But all these trainers are taking these collars again and putting it right up around the ears, neck, and they're so freaking tight. Like, and that's the other thing. She trained me differently than what I see these people doing. Like here is like where it should be. Can you see that? I can't see what I'm doing. Like, it should be like this, not up here. That's what she taught me. She also taught me that it should be maybe like a ½ an inch, possibly an inch, depending on the dog and the fit. So when you do press this back part, it's just a slight tug. But I see these trainers, like, again, the same with the choke chain. You know, they've got it, I'm gonna use Bluey, not you. They've got it so high up and they're yanking, and the dog's yelping. You're not supposed to make your dog yelp with these. Like, that's not, and these people are praising these trainers online. Like, these people are geniuses, they're awesome, you know, and it's like, no, they're literally abusing the dog into whatever you want to call it, submission or whatever. They're breaking the dog down to where they're not gonna, what are you doing? Oh, I said breaking the dog down and he laid down. Okay, that deserves a cookie. Go get a cookie. So I used it for a week on Kage, right? I probably could have gone with just using it for 2 days with Kage because he understood, and you have to know exactly the right moment to correct it. That's another thing that's really pissing me off about these trainers online, is they're literally like just yanking the dog for nothing. The dog will just move and sniff and they'll yank the dog. Me and my husband really seriously discussed going out and buying a new pinch collar for Sully for all his issues he's having recently, and we decided against it. And the main reason why is because we see the fear in him. This collar, if not used gently, I should say, instead of using it like these freaking crazy people online just choking the hell out of their dogs, you can actually cause more fear and then more aggression, because you're not building trust in a relationship with your dog at that point. Would this fix Sully's reactivity? Probably. Yeah, it probably would fix it in seconds. But then how's my relationship with him? That's why I'm not going this route with him, because it's like I just can't. Like, it was hard. Like, me and my husband even tried these collars on ourselves, not like around our necks or anything, but on our arm. Like, we really yanked ourselves hard so we like knew the different levels of what it felt like. But again, that trainer, when we were told to yank, she said, just this is a horrible example, but like a light, not this, not ever this. Like, it drives me freaking nuts right now. And the way they're using it is just, it's messing with my head, because it's not ever how I was trained. It's not ever how we used them in the vet office, because we had dogs, plenty of dogs, German Shepherds, all kinds, not just German Shepherds, but that's just one example because I'm remembering the one. All kinds of dogs that would come in with these collars. And grant you, this was like, 20 years ago, maybe, maybe 15 to 20 years ago, depending on which job I was at. But not once did I ever see any of these dogs have either of these collars up around their ears and yanking on it. It was always around the middle of the neck, loose, and only done when necessary, and it was done very lightly. Like, now I guess to sum it all up, and if I'm repeating myself again, I'm sorry, is maybe just really think about this option and really make sure you're with a trainer who might teach you a better way of using this, because I'm just kind of flabbergasted, and maybe I've been under a rock, the last, decade, because I've been dog grooming instead of, working in vet offices and kennels and stuff, but it's just not what I remember, because I felt like we were getting past this. I also wanted to give a shout out to K9 Tay. She's a dog trainer that reviews other dog trainers. You don't have to get so close, guys. And there's a video where she reviews a certain trainer using a pinch collar that I'm just absolutely appalled by. Those type of trainers I would stay away from, and I suggest going to check out her video. I will link it down in the description below. But she goes over... Stop talking while I'm talking. She goes over a lot of things about what dog trainers are doing wrong and about reading dogs' body language and stuff, and I agree with a lot of things she says. There's a couple of things I don't agree with, which is fine, because, it's all about perspective and experience and stuff, and just learning from each other. But she seems very nice, and I enjoy watching some of her videos, even though I get upset seeing what I'm seeing other trainers do that she goes over. But I just wanted to give her a quick shout out, because she definitely was an inspiration for my my rant on how things are going with these collars. So again, this is just my opinion based off of my experiences in life, and if you have a different viewpoint on it, that is fine. I don't have to agree with you, you don't have to agree with me. Again, try to find a good trainer. I know that's sometimes hard to do, but there's a lot of trainers on this channel specifically that I adore, because you have discussions and you talk about things, and you have your preferences, but you're willing to talk about things. So anyway, sorry for a long video when I was trying to make it short, but I really wanted to cover a lot of stuff with these two freaking collars. But if you enjoyed this video, please remember to click like and subscribe, and also to click the notification bell thingy so you know when I upload next. And remember to comment down below your thoughts, feelings, etc. I'm always open for a discussion. I think that's a good thing. I think that helps all dog parents out there. But yeah, some things I'm just not totally for, like strangling your dog. Anyway, take care everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. I just realized this isn't Bluey. Bluey's over there. This is Bandit. Not that that matters, but I think I might have hurt Bandit a little bit. I think he'll be okay. So I was right originally. It was the dad, not the girl dog. There's too many blue dogs here. I don't know what's happening anymore.